Aloha! Welcome to the Friday Marketing Jam Session. It is Labor Day weekend, and today it's game day. Woo, woo, woo!
That's your beloved Oklahoma. Is that right?
That's right. They played.
Who are they playing?
Temple. We played Temple today for the season opener in Oklahoma at 4 p.m. So my wife actually just walked through the door from the store with potato skins. And we're going to have wings, and it's going to be a fun day. But right now, I'm here hanging out with all of you. So we're going to have a great time here as well. We're going to be talking about our best secrets to staying motivated and staying consistent. I'm going to talk a little bit about what we have coming up next week for you guys. We have a free challenge that we're going to be doing all next week. We'll talk a little bit about that. We're going to take your questions. We're going to do some shark shout outs. We'll talk about what's going on at the agencies. Richie, what's going on at your agency?
Lots.
It's gonna be fun. A lot, right? It's going to be fun. So why don't you guys grab a cool drink? I've got a Diet Coke right here. I'm going to cue up the intro, and we will just see you back here in one momento.
It's time, the moment you've been waiting for. Get ready for the fastest 60 minutes of marketing strategies and tactics to grow and scale your business from anywhere in the world. After 167 agonizing hours, we've returned for a brand new Aloha Marketing Jam session. And now, here are your hosts.
Big crowd.
That's
everyone.
That is a happy Friday crowd.
There we go. That right on cue. Did you see that? Right on cue.
Yeah, I love the way your stage presence just does it automatically.
Well, as I tell my wife, I am pretty amazing, Richie. I am pretty amazing.
I tell my wife that too, but I don't think she believes me.
Yeah, welcome everybody. Let's take a Tommy like wingies. Remember Tommy boy? Oh yeah. Welcome everybody. And Salim, welcome. Jacqueline, Paul, I love that. Oh yeah, that's right. Potato skins. Gotta love them. They're not technically on the diet, but hey, what the heck?
It's a long weekend.
Can't all be perfect, right?
Yeah.
Frank the Tank, what's up? Paul, welcome. Donna, welcome. Yeah, is anybody joining us from the pool today? Welcome, everybody. Awesome. Jamie. Awesome.
Well, hey, so Tom, you're in Las Vegas. You get quite used to 100-degree weather in Las Vegas. Is that correct?
In the summer, it gets up there. It's starting to cool off now.
Well, we're the opposite here in Nashville. It's we've had 4 days in a row of 100 degrees, and actually it's threatening a bit of rain the next day or two. So the humidity just went right up this morning, and it is sticky.
Yeah, the nice thing about Vegas is the no humidity. So, just like when I lived outside of Detroit, where our fearless operations manager, Cameron Rote, lives, I would, when it would snow and there's, all the crazy storms, you just stay in, right? And same thing here. When it's super hot, I don't go outside as much. And usually the temperatures you see on TV, like the 115s, the 120s, those don't stick around for it's usually only about maybe there's 7 days of that or 14 days of that, but you're not talking, it's not like that from start of summer to end of summer or anything like that. The majority of the time here in Vegas, the weather's actually pretty awesome. And the other thing too, I think that's a little that I've learned from living here is when the temperature reading is deceiving, because 90 degrees, 100 degrees in Vegas is not like 100 degrees anywhere else. Like 90 degrees on Maui, you would be sweating like crazy, right? Because the humidity and it's 90 degrees and you're just like, 90 degrees here. Like you go out, like you don't sweat at all. It's just nice. And it just, so there's a difference there. So.
Yeah. Yep. Same. I mean, it's from where I come from back in New Zealand. It's a hot, dry heat, but it doesn't last that long. We don't get a long summer. It's warm for 6-7 months of the year. We get cold mornings, cold evenings, but really nice days. So yeah, it's the temperature, and if you're in London and it's 22 Celsius, it feels like 40 degrees in a place like Nashville, because there's just so much concrete and stuff as well. So anyway, enough about the weather.
Yes, enough about the weather. Hey, and look, there's lots of stuff going on this weekend. I said it's my Sooners kickoff today. They play at 4 p.m. Vegas time. I'm actually headed to Allegiant Stadium on Sunday to watch the college football kickoff featured game. It's the USC Trojans and the LSU Tigers. They said Allegiant Stadium is sold out. They hit an attendance record for a college game, so it should be pretty nuts. A good buddy of mine who is actually, I have a buddy here who is the operations manager for a agency that focuses on medical companies. They do marketing for medical companies, and he is a USC fan. So I was like, okay, I'll go with you. It sounds like fun. I mean, what the heck? It's here in Vegas, right? So we're going. So that should be fun. But we're here to talk about marketing. We're here to talk about being consistent, staying motivated each and every day. Before we get into all that, Richie, I would just want to I'll let everybody know what we have going on next week. So we wanted to help you guys jumpstart getting motivated, staying consistent, all those types of things. So, I was talking to Nick and Cameron and everybody behind the scenes, and we were like, man, we have not done any type of a challenge in a long time. And so we decided to run, it's completely free, a free 5-day challenge on stealth prospecting. So the goal of this challenge is to help you get your head around prospecting, get focused in, and give you some very clear steps and action things you can do so that by the end of the challenge, you're prospecting, getting people on your calendar. But here's the best part: without actually talking to a living person. So I know that this sounds like you're like, this sounds crazy, right? Because we get this question all the time. People email in and say, like, how can I get clients without actually having to talk to someone? Well, there is a way, and we have a way. It's one we've been using for a long time. And so we're going to dive deep into that over the course of next week. So the first live session is Monday at 3 p.m. Eastern. And I'm going to show up every day, Monday through Friday, and we're going to do it live. Now, here's the deal. I'm going to let the link just kind of scroll by the bottom of the screen, but you can go to offlinesharks.com/stealth to sign up for the free 5-day challenge. Now, here's the way the free version works. Okay. At the end of each day, Cameron is going to post the videos. We have a page. So ideally, we want you there live, right? And I'm going to talk about why that's important with our, staying motivated, being consistent, developing some discipline. This is kind of designed to help you do that. So the best thing is if you can be there live. Okay. But I get it. Maybe just for whatever reason, you cannot be there live. So the second best thing is to watch the replay each day. Now, when you sign up for the free challenge, you will be able to watch the replays Monday through Saturday. So Saturday night at midnight, we are taking down the replays. Okay.
Uh-huh.
So you will be able to, you can watch Monday. On Monday, you can watch them all. And we wanted to give you an extra day in case you can't make Friday, right? I'm going to go over tons of stuff. Now, when you sign up for the free challenge, there is an option to upgrade to a VIP level. And the VIP basically is we're going to give you all the recordings, all the assets and everything in perpetuity forever. So if you haven't, I would highly recommend that you sign up for the VIP. There's also some other goodies that come with that. One is after the main session is over, we're going to be doing VIP sessions each day. So after the main session is over, I'm going to be hanging out with the VIP people. They're going to be able to ask me questions directly. We're going to talk about what happened during the day. We're going to work through issues. This really is, you know, a small group coaching environment directly with me. I will be there every single day in the VIP section, as well as the live event. I'm going to be running all this. So, you know, this is something that we don't typically do, right? We haven't done one of these in a really long time. And most of the time I think even the last challenge we did, it didn't have this element of, you know, direct interaction and with me and one-on-one coaching and all that stuff. So we really I wanted to make myself available to just be there for you guys, answer whatever questions you have, share my experience, help you work through those roadblocks you have. So if you have not already, make sure you go to offlinesharks.com/stealth, sign up for the free challenge. Now, if you're good with watching the events and taking action, taking action, just do the free thing. You'll have an extra day to make sure you can consume all the content, take lots of notes, that kind of stuff. If you just want to have everything and not worry about that and spend some extra time with me directly, where I can answer your questions directly and talk about your situation specifically and maybe give you some specific things to help you do that, then do the VIP upgrade. Now, in the past, that, you know, that kind of access to myself only comes with our higher level coaching program, Agency Evolution, which is, you know, on the pricey side. So, you know, it's a really good value to come in and hang out with me and do that stuff. And right now the VIP is not super packed. So it's going to be a nice, small, tight knit group of people. I'll be able to get to a lot of questions and probably spend time with just about anybody there. So do the challenge no matter what, right? Because the other thing, one of the reasons I also wanted to do with this is, let me ask everybody who's on here a question right now. How many New Year's resolutions or to do things that you put in at the beginning of the year have just fallen by the wayside for you? Be honest. Anybody here? I mean, there's 40 people here right now. Does anyone have a New Year's resolution that just fell by the wayside, or something they were like, I'm going to do this year, and it hasn't been happening? That used to happen to Roger says 60. Yeah. That used to happen to me all of the time. Okay. Almost every decision that I've made to make a change in my habits, my behavior, and my life has come in a not remarkable time. And I saw an email the other day where somebody called September Sneaky September. And I thought, wow, what a great way to look at September.
That's a very good way.
Kind of month that's just there, right? Like there's really, I mean, what really happens in September? No holidays, anything like that. Like here's a chance without the fanfare, without all the New Year's Eve and the New Year and the blah, 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 to just make a personal commitment to yourself to get better at something. And that something just happens to be something that is super critical to building an agency, generating income online, and doing those things, which is prospecting. And even better, I'm going to take a lot of the things that everyone has fear around or roadblocks around, or you just don't want to do it because, like, what I'm going to teach you over the 5 days next week removes all of those barriers. Again, you'll be able to prospect without actually having a real conversation with someone. Like, imagine when you have the ability to sharpen your presentation, your pitch, when you're able to develop your sales script and practice it without having to fumble through it or have an awkward conversation face-to-face with somebody. Like, that's the method that we're going to be teaching next week. I'm going to show you how to do that. So it's going to be really great. I know you guys are going to love it. I've been working on this for a while now. Like, there is a ton of value that I'm going to be dropping each and every day. And that's the whole point of this, right? You, our community, we want you to succeed, and I know, we put out a lot of products, we sell products, we have a lot of, we have webinars, we bring people in, and, we just wanted to do something that just wasn't that for once, right? Just come in, let's hang out, let's do some on the boots, get some training, get some value in there, and just have a good time. So this stealth challenge is one way we're going to do that. So I think it's really going to be awesome. And yeah, I think people are going to love it.
Yeah, it's super exciting.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
And I think, and it's one of the forms of prospecting. I mean, prospecting takes many different shapes and sizes and actions and everything else. And you know, if that's the one that gets you out the door doing things, then go with it. I mean, because you can always then start refining other techniques and processes. And as we were talking earlier, Tom, you know, I mean, I've factored in. I've been using cold email for a long time. I do direct walk in the door stuff as well. You know, paid outreach is the thing that I'm really focused on at the moment. And it's not about just going, well, I'm just doing paid outreach prospecting now. I'm adding it to my prospecting portfolio. And the more options you have, and you hone in on the ones that bring the biggest results. And that's how you've got to look at prospecting. There's the two sides. Prospecting is about connecting with people and fitting what you have to their need and want. Sales conversion is what comes after the prospecting side of it. And that's where you are closing a sale. You are also developing a relationship for the benefit of your business long term, you know, so because you sell to someone once so you can sell to them again. So there's, you know, but it all starts with prospecting, and prospecting only starts when you take action. If you don't take action, all you're doing is talking about it, and talking about it doesn't make any money.
Yeah. You know, it's interesting you say that. Well, and you know, you're right. There's the prospecting and then there's the selling. But when you do the prospecting right, the selling becomes almost automatic, right? Because when you take the time to really find the right prospect to go after, the person that's going to give you the best chance of converting them into a paying client, then the other part really becomes a lot easier. And, you know, what I find and I know this is with myself, like I used to dread prospecting. Like I didn't want to what do I say to somebody? How does somebody just get good at that? Well, everybody tells you just got to go out there and do it. Right. And yes, yeah, like if you do have to go out there and do it, but we have a way to go out there and do it that is different and lets you do it without really being in those uncomfortable or awkward situations that you would typically find yourself. And here's what I think is really awesome about this is there's no lose in it for you. It's only a winning situation, because here's the deal. Like if you take the prospecting method I show you and you practice it yourself, like I'm going to show you how to do in the challenge. Like if you just do what I show you in the challenge and you never go any further, you just do this prospecting thing, you will get better at being able to talk to people about your services, your agency, your sales. Now, if you do the next step, which again doesn't require you to talk to anybody, you may get a paying client. Like there's no lose in it, right? Like there's no lose. There's no, like, you don't have to ask them to buy anything. You don't have to do any of that. So I think this is something that just, we don't really talk about this enough. Like this is nothing, you know, this isn't any, like everyone that's on this call right now, everyone that's a member of our Facebook group can do what I'm going to show you next week. You don't need any special software. You don't need any special skills. You don't have to have any experience. You can just do the steps and yeah, it's really great. So I'm kind of gushing about it now, but like I think it is one of the best ways I've ever seen out there to get those first clients, get that traction. So if you are struggling with prospecting, like if it just is all like a big, like confusing to you, or you're like, I just don't even know where to start or what to do, you should show up to the challenge, do all that stuff. But Richie, let's talk about Donna Norris, by the way, one of our most successful challenge members. The last challenge we did a few years ago, Donna really just like grabbed that thing by the reins and took off, and she's been
smoked it. Yeah.
So, yeah, awesome stuff. So let's talk about being motivated and being consistent each and every day. So I want to kind of tie this into the challenge next week, and then we're going to talk about some other stuff. But like, I'm going to be, I don't know if I've ever told you guys this or not. Maybe I have. I don't know, but I'm going to get a little personal about myself here. I am not I am normal in my natural state. I am not a disciplined person. Like, I'm not I like doing this stuff. I like talking. I like presenting. I like doing these things. I am not an operations type person, getting into the gritty detail of everything. It drives me like I have a busy calendar because of what we do here and what we do in the agency and all that stuff. But I'm going to tell you, my natural state is to look at my calendar. And like, if I had an entire week where I didn't have anything on my calendar and there was like one day with something scheduled, I would be like, this is some bullshit. Like, why do I have one thing scheduled this week? Like that is just my natural state. Like, my natural state is I just want to like kind of, I don't know. I don't want to have things on my calendar. I don't want people to be counting on me to show up and do stuff. And I tell you all of this to say that that is not how I behave today. Like, a while back, I started making some changes in my habits, in my behavior. And today, if you were to see all of the stuff I do and the schedule I keep and all of the things that, like, I am a person that can be counted on. Like, if I'm going to do something, or I tell you I'm going to do something, I do it. If like, no matter what, like, I just do not let anything stop me. If we have a deadline and we say we're going to do something, we do it. Right. And so I have become that over the years. Like, and it is not an easy thing for me. So if any of you out there can relate to that, let me know in the comments, because, for a long time, I felt like there was something wrong with me. Like, I'm just not that kind of person. And, Nick, very opposite. Nick, man, hard worker from morning to night. Like, he wants to be doing stuff. He wants to be putting in all the effort and the time. Like, so we're very different. Right. And, so it's been an interesting process over the years. And so this topic of staying motivated and consistent each and every day is a good one for me, because as somebody who wakes up and doesn't want to do anything, like, I have to do a lot of little tricks. So Richie, tell me, what's one of the tricks you have for staying motivated and consistent each and every day?
Oh, it's fear of being hurt by my wife.
Fear of the wife is a good one.
That's a good one. Yeah, I used to think it was. I used to think it was only motivated by money and winning, and as it turns out, I'm motivated by completing things and making sure that I'm moving things in the right direction and stuff. And a good week for me is when I've started the week knowing that I've got these major things, these next group of things to get done, and I get to this time on Friday afternoon and go, hey, look, I've put a pin in a lot of them, and there might be one thing that's hanging over to next week, and I sort of go, hey, man, that's a great productive week. And the more productive I feel, the more motivated I am to stay on task and drive through it and get those things done. But naturally, I was exactly like yourself, Tom. I'm more of a social butterfly than a disciplined time frame. There's a time for this and time for that. Although I kind of embraced my inner OCD, and we all have OCD in some way where we need to. There's things that I like to touch, like the bathroom sink. I always clean it after I use it. And whereas my wife will spit a toothpaste in it and it stays there and stuff. Well, she'll spill toothpaste in it and just leave it. I hate that. So that's those little OCD things. But the way I circle it back to motivation is by sort of just making sure that I'm getting the right things done at the right time, and by having the success of each day and each part of each day keeps me motivated to keep moving forward and achieve the bigger goals. So you don't run a marathon in a short burst of a sprint. You've got to start taking a step to go there, and the motivation to just keep going and keep applying yourself to tasks, even when they become ridiculously difficult, like dealing with Meta. Is one of the things that I've been 2 weeks on chat support and phone support with Meta, working out some pretty complicated issues. And I got to think Wednesday, and I just would like throw it in the air and just give up on it and stuff. I can't do that. It's customer facing, and so I've just had to keep on plying through it, and it's not fixed yet, but we're getting there. It's my motivation is there, because I know that I have to succeed with it, and that success will make me feel really good about myself when I've got it done.
Yeah, I think there is a lot you said there that's super important. One is definitely doing things and consistently doing things builds your confidence and your self-esteem, right? Like as you start to do things and get things done, it does you do feel better about yourself, right? I find for me, I know there's the book, Your Why, and everybody always says you got to find your why. And I don't know, my whys have kind of changed over the years. In the beginning, for me, it was like, hey, I want to make money. I'm tired of being broke. I'm tired of living paycheck to paycheck. Like a lot of times, sometimes what I tell my friends is like, I don't see the light, I feel the fire. So I don't make a change in my life until I'm super uncomfortable. And I'm just like, man, I just can't take this anymore. I just don't want to live like this anymore. And so then I usually start thinking, well, now what can I do differently? And how can I, what are the things that are holding me back? Now, this is the really humbling and part that you have to be brutally honest with yourself. And that being brutally honest with yourself is not a comfortable place to be. But here's the deal. It's only going to be uncomfortable and feel shitty in the beginning. But as you start to change and do things in a different way, again, you'll start to feel better about what you're doing. So for me, it all kinds of starts outside of work. So making a commitment to go to well, in the beginning it wasn't going to the gym, but that's kind of one of the things I have now. But in the beginning, it was I made a commitment that every day I was going to spend an hour to make myself better. And I did that every day from 7 a.m. until 8 a.m. I spent that hour every single day for, years. I mean, years. And it was just this little thing that made a difference. So another thing for me right now, I go to the gym 5 days a week. That getting there and getting that done is a high priority for me. Mm-hmm. I find when I do these little actions that on the surface don't really seem to be related to work, that I become better at work. So if I can, if I volunteer for something, and when I show up as a volunteer, I'm always on time. I'm always prepared. I always have a great attitude. I act like they're paying me 20 grand to do whatever it is I'm doing. Then when I go to work with somebody who's actually paying me, all of that stuff just happens without me ever really thinking about it, right? Yep. I used to always think it was the other way around, that I would get my shit together when they were paying me the money. But you have to have it together before they pay you the money. That's the kind of weird paradox, right? So one of my tips, if you are struggling with staying motivated, is just picking something small that you can do each and every day. And when I say small, I mean small. It could just be read one page of a book every night before you go to bed. Like it could, and it doesn't even have to be a business book. Like you just say, every night before I go to bed, I'm going to read 1 page of a book. And then you just like get a calendar, hang it on your wall, put an X every day that you do that. And you just keep doing it, right? Like just even having some consistency in something as small and what seems to be insignificant as that can have a tremendous impact on your life. It's, I know it became really popular from that guy that wrote the book, James Clear. You know, he wrote that book, Atomic Habits.
Mm-hmm.
But that method that he talks about in Atomic Habits is really the Kaizen way. You know,
it's the second time this week that Atomic Habits has come up.
Yeah, well, that book is
yeah.
that book is super popular, but there's another one that's a little smaller called the Kaizen Way, which is the same idea. And the idea in Atomic Habits is that you just keep making something smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller, and you do whatever you can in the beginning to gradually add. So, for instance, one of the examples they give in the Kaizen Way is, let's say that you struggle with brushing your teeth at night, right? Let's say you struggle with brushing your teeth at night. So instead of saying, I'm going to brush my teeth every night, you make a commitment to brush 1 tooth. That's all you're going to do. I'm just going to brush 1 tooth every night. But the thing is, like when you go to brush that 1 tooth, you're already there, right? Might as well just brush them all, you know? Another thing that you can do is, and I used to do this early on when I was trying to build the habit of, it's funny, I was talking to Nick the other day, like when I first started going to the gym and caring about my health, I only wanted to be at the gym for 20 minutes. So I was like, because I knew after 20 minutes, I just didn't want to be there. So like I found a workout program and a thing that I could follow that only had me going to the gym 3 days a week for 20 minutes a day. And it included weights and it had cardio. So I know I could do 20 minutes 3 days a week, right? Like I could commit to that. Fast forward to today. So this is 5 years ago. Yeah, 5-6 years ago. That was the start of my fitness journey. Today, like the other day, I was in the gym for 40 minutes and I thought, oh man, this was a crappy workout. I should have been here longer. Like if it's less than 45 minutes, I don't feel like I'm getting a good workout. Now, like, how did that happen? How did I go from that guy that only wanted to, first wasn't working out at all, to this guy that's like 45 minutes is not long? Well, it's been a long, slow process of just doing what I can and what I could in the beginning, which was 20 minutes a day, 3 times a week, sticking to that consistently, seeing some results, which made me want to do it more, right? Getting off, like seeing the results go backwards. And it was like, oh, this isn't good. You know, like I don't want them to go backwards, and then refocusing and getting back in and trying new things. So that process happens in your work life too, you know, like if you, I got sidetracked there. One of the things I did, Richie, was I would lay out my workout clothes. So to make sure that I would go on the 3 days for the 20 minutes, I would make sure that all the stuff I needed, the workout clothes I was going to wear, were out in the morning, so that I would get up, drink a glass of water, brush my teeth, and put the workout clothes on. I had no thought of like, I'm going to go to the gym today. It was just like the first step is putting the workout clothes on. Right. And so once I had them on, it's like, well, now I got these workout clothes on, like I'm more likely to go. And then I would just go to the gym. So that's another way. The way that relates
that's the discipline to that creates the motivation to carry it off. You've already taken that action, then you're kind of holding yourself accountable immediately, and that your workout clothes are there. So you go and do them. And it's the same thing with running your business, and an agency business in particular, is the discipline of allotting that time to that task. And then, and the motivation that you're pulling on from within is to, when it hits 8:45 on Monday morning, and you know that this task is the thing that you're doing, is to get it done. And that win from that one task feeds to the next one. And that's what creates a really good, motivated work week.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, who's that? Well, that's some good music. I liked it. So that
That is
consistency.
that is
That
a Kiwi who is obviously in town, and we'll be talking about tomorrow. Is one of the most anticipated rugby games of the year. You got your college game today. The All Blacks are playing South Africa tomorrow for the first time since the Rugby World Cup final in October last year, and it is a big occasion that there's this large South African community here in Nashville. With the Kiwi community, we are hosting a barbecue tomorrow morning before the game. And the following weekend, the South Africans are hosting their version of a barbecue, which is called a braai, before the game next Saturday. So, that volunteering thing, I got roped into it. I have plenty of other things to be doing and stuff. So I'm leaving here at 6:30 tomorrow morning with barbecue and tent and a whole lot of other things, and setting this up. And everyone sort of starts arriving about 8:30, 9 o'clock. So we've got to have quite a bit done, but there's a whole bunch of us Kiwis are all chipping in and getting it done. So we're hosting the first one, South Africans the next one, and it's at a pub of all. I mean, you can't have it not at a pub. And the publican has brought a glass trophy that is like the Freedom Cup. We've called it.
Use the word that a lot of U.S. people wouldn't know. The publican. What is a publican?
A guy that owns a pub.
Yeah, the guy that owns a pub. That's just not a term that we use here. So when you hear publican, people are like, what the hell is a publican? Like, it sounds like a political thing, but it's a guy that owns a pub. I didn't know that for a long time. Somebody used that. I was like, what is a publican? That's what. Anyway, well, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, no, it should be. It's going to be a riot of a day, and so we're doing that. And then on Sunday, I've got been invited to a customer's house for a grill and a Labor Day party. So we're heading out there Sunday afternoon. That should be a bit of fun as well.
Yeah,
bit of brisket.
That's great. Oh, that sounds good. Look, we got grammar. We all learned a new word. Like this is an awesome so far. So I want to give you guys a couple more tips for consistency and staying on track, and then I want to do some shark shout outs, and we're going to do some Cash App giveaway as well. But there are a couple of other things that I wanted to make sure that I mentioned today. So, being consistent in things that aren't work related will translate into being consistent in your work. So, if you are constantly late outside of getting paid to be on time, like you have to make being on time a priority in all the things you do. If it's a priority in everything that you do, it will be easy to be that way when you're getting paid and the pressure's on and all that stuff, right? So that's one thing. Another thing that I think holds a lot of people back about staying consistent, doing all that stuff, is you just have to stop being a perfectionist. Like you have to realize
there's that OCD thing again. You
just have to realize
your OCD demands perfection and you're not hitting it, then you're losing motivation at the same time. So don't let your OCD control your motivation. Let your motivation control your OCD.
Yeah, I think that's a big one, just knowing that you're human and, not be, like, look, you can set these goals and do things, for a long time, like I would almost like guilt myself into quitting something because, let's like say I would decide I want to work out and then I would go and then I wouldn't go one day and I'd think, well, I felt bad. I didn't go that day. So I might as well not go this day. Like now I have a very different attitude about that kind of stuff. Like if I miss a day or something causes me to miss a day, like I don't get all stressed out about it. I just pick up the next day, like whatever. And if for some reason I miss multiple days in a row, again, I don't get all stressed out about it. I just pick up. I just pick it back up as soon as I can. Right.
Get back on task. Yeah.
Yeah. Just get back on task as soon as I can. And, sometimes stuff's going on and you just can't get things done. That's okay. Like you just got to start doing that stuff as soon as you can. So being a perfectionist, breaking things down into the smaller actions, getting some consistency outside. I think the final thing I'd want to add to this, Richie, is like you really have to put a strong value on the time that you're investing in changing whatever behavior it is you're going to change. So, if I'll give you an example of how this kind of came to me was like, before all of this stuff, I was working for a business mentor of mine, and I had a regular job, and I was helping him on the side. And we had this thing, and I was supposed to do something, and I didn't do it. And we were working on something that was going to generate money. Like, think about this: your agency, right? If you actually put in the action and do some of the work, like, it can generate money for you. But like, and when I didn't do the thing, he said, well, let me ask you a question. He goes, at your job, do you do this? Do you just not do stuff that you're supposed to do at your job? It's like, of course you don't, because your job, you're depending on that paycheck. You want to get the paycheck. Like, you want to get a paycheck. So you show up on time, you do what you're supposed to do, you complete the projects you get. Why did you not do that here? Because you don't view this as real. Like, you're not thinking about it the same way you think about your job. And that was a real eye-opening lesson for me, because for a long time, I didn't treat trying to start a business like a job. Like, I wanted to do it because I wanted to be in charge of my time, and I wanted to have freedom, and I wanted this, but I didn't want to do any of the hard stuff that needed to be done. And I definitely didn't treat it like a paycheck depended on it, because really there was no paycheck. Like, it's hard to wrap your mind around that. Or at least it was for me, to say, okay, like, when the money coming in is dependent on me taking actions, that is like a shift. And so then you really put value and priority on the time that's going to help you generate that money, because you want the money, so, that's a kind of shift in perspective. And I think that's important, to realize, like, yes, we're doing this because we want freedom. Yes, we're doing this because we want to be our own boss, but we also have to treat it like it's a job, like, the days that we don't want to do it, we still have to show up and do things. There are going to be some things that are going to make us uncomfortable. We are still going to need to do those things from time to time. So I think having that shift in your perspective is good as well. And, again, I think a great way for everybody to kind of start down this road is to make a commitment to show up to the challenge next week, all 5 days, right? If you can't be there live, at least watch the recordings each day, because that's a small commitment. It's only 5 days. Like, it's 5 days. It's nothing, right?
And what sort of time frame are you going to need to watch the recording? Is it going to be an hour, an evening? Is it maybe an hour and a half?
Yeah, if you're in the VIP, an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Yep. So, and then and you obviously watch a recording, and so you can take some notes, and from that this is what I would do. You're going to write a list of action items for the very next day to get that implementation done as well. So maybe that's you've implemented on Tuesday what you've covered on Monday, if you weren't able to be there live. Otherwise, you're certainly going to be implementing when you're going through it, and of course straight afterwards. So don't worry about the fact that there's stuff being done the next day, because you're going to get to come back to something and catch up on the next part as well. If you knock through those actions each day, you're going to hit Friday, Saturday, and look what you will have achieved. Look what you'll have going. I mean, that's, and then the following week you're going to be like, man, I'm hitting this even harder. I'm away.
Yeah, it's going to be great. And there's going to be a handout that I'm going to give everybody that's got a lot of great stuff in it, and it will help you with all that stuff too. And Patty, yes, we're doing the first training on Monday, on Labor Day at 3 p.m. Eastern. I know some people are like, but it's Labor Day. Like, hey, like, here's the deal,
Well, I'm
there's
working
never
on
a good time.
Yeah.
This is another thing I wanted to bring up, because I saw somebody send an email about, we're going to do a training on Labor Day. And it's like, I have never found a good time to change my behavior. I always find some reason to not take the action. Like, oh, well, my birthday's coming up. Oh, it's the weekend. Oh, it's this. Oh, it's that. Like, there is always going to be some reason to not take an action. So I know, like, maybe, and then this is why I say, like, if you have plans, just watch the recording. But I would say, like, what's the priority? Think about when, I remember when I had a regular job, I used to live for the weekend, I just like, I can't wait but what would I do on the weekend? Like, I would do nothing. Like, I would spend all week griping and complaining about my job and how much I didn't like it. And then on the weekend, I would do 0 things to not have to have that job. I would just relax and kick back and go here and go there. And I wanted to have fun, so then I would go and I'd gripe about the job all week. But it's like, well, at some point, we got to make a change, we got to make a change. So that is on Labor Day. There is no 100K call that day. We're going to be doing the challenge instead. Also, too, just so you guys know, next week on Friday, there will not be a live show. We're going to be doing the final day of the challenge. So make sure you sign up for the free challenge, because that's what's going on all next week. Every day,
live show.
Eastern. Yep, no live show next week. But I will be live doing the challenge. We're going to have that. And then
I will be I will be in actually, I think I'm in the air still. I'm heading to Australia next week. So Thursday I'm bugging out, and so yeah, I would have missed it anyway. I think I'm still on the plane when the live show's on. So
but again, you'll be able to watch record. Like, we are going to record it. Cameron's going to put it on a page. You'll be able to watch the recordings if you can't make them live that evening or the next day. You'll be able to follow along, and it'll stay up. So we'll have that as well too. But yeah, so those are 2 things. No 100K club call on Monday. We'll be on the live challenge instead, and no actual live show next Friday. We're going to be doing this instead. The live show, by the way, if you really want to see how to be consistent and stuff, like, just look at what we do. I've been showing up and doing this live show for years, every Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern.
I think we're not far away from the 250th, are we?
It's like, we've been doing a lot. And here's the thing, like, in the beginning, we showed up even when Friday was a holiday. We didn't start like not having a live show until like we had already been doing it for a few years. So that's when I talk about making that commitment. Now, look, I'm not telling you to go out and start a live show and do all that stuff, but you want to have that kind of.
This is episode 249, which thus means that with a skip next Friday, the week after is 250. That is going to be something to celebrate as well. And all the success that's come from next week's training, that'll be right there in the 250th episode. That's exciting. It really is. Yeah.
Well, and the live show is also another great example of how things build up in your business, because, and I could show you this with what we do in the agency too. Like, we have a lot of things around SEO, right? Like, if you look at if you look at some of our training when we were doing SEO early on versus our training on how we do SEO now, you'll see the evolution, the change as we've consistently done it over and over and over and improved the process, right? When we started this live show, it was just Nick and I on here shooting the shit. Like, we just get on and hang out for an hour. Now we've got, like, look at this. We've got graphics. We've got a ticker that runs below the bottom. We have a guest host. You don't see this in the background, but there's actually show notes. Like, we have show notes that Shushan puts together every week with all the information so that I can just sit down at my computer, pull up the show notes, and we can get going. Like, I used to have to spend time prepping for the live shows and getting everything ready and all that stuff. I don't have to do any of that anymore. The show notes are there. We've got an intro. We've got an outro. Like, all of that stuff has just grown up over the years. The Cash App giveaways, the member of the week, the What's Tom Reading. I mean, we've had segments coming in and out. We've done different structures. That is exactly how your agency works too. And we do that same thing in the agency. So if you're ever wondering, like, how do I stay consistent? What do I do? Just watch what we're doing. Watch what we're doing. Because, like, those are the things that we're doing, those things really. And there's not, like, we do not have superpowers. We're not smarter than the average bear. I was just telling Richie this before the live show. Almost anything that you see us do that you're like, oh, that's a good way to do it, is because we messed something up.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, because we messed something up and we were like, well, that was shitty. We don't want to feel that way anymore. So, like,
it's a great motivator. Fear of failure is a great motivator. But more importantly, the biggest learnings that I've had in business have come from failures, not from successes. and those failures they hit home, they hurt, and so you don't do that again. You change your actions so that you don't repeat it. So that's a great source of motivation.
Yeah. Well, look, let's celebrate some people that have been taking action, that have been consistent, that are doing these things we're talking about and getting some results. Let's do some shark shout outs, and then we'll do some Cash App giveaways. So first up on our shark shout outs for this week is Mr. Jerry Wright. Check this out. Jerry sold his first client $119 for privacy policy after he registered as an agency with Termageddon. So he's helping them their privacy policies and things like that. So awesome win, Jerry. And what a great service to offer someone, especially if you're doing websites, things like that. I know Jerry's in the UK. So if you're over in the UK, you might want to check into that. And he's also a Remote Millionaires member. So awesome work. Awesome work, Jerry. All right, next up, we've got Paul Michael. He had an onboarding call from a featured premium listing upgrade. He closed that person on a Google Business Profile optimization for $200, and he planted the seed for review management once it's all done. Paul in the 100K club. Congratulations, Paul. This is awesome.
Yep.
What a great win.
And a great way to lead into a higher value service later on, a recurring revenue service too, Smart move.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. Lars' site upgrade project sold $1,995 one time to fix their website and $197 a month for the hosting.
Woo! Yeah.
Solid. Lars, also in the 100K club. You may notice a trend in the shout outs and wins every week that a lot of people that are taking action seem to have some skin in the game with some trainings that we have. They're either in the 100K club or Agency Evolution. Like, they're following a process. They're following a blueprint, a step-by-step that we lay out. So awesome stuff, Lars. Mina Marketing, the team over there had a new inbound lead that we generated from our organic SEO. We sold them a $5,000 a month SEM campaign to a staffing company. So As you guys know, we spent, or I say we, Nick gets all the credit for this. Nick spent a lot of time when he was first getting his agency off the ground, doing SEO to his own site because he wanted to learn SEO. So he started SEOing his own agency site. And as a result, the site started ranking and he started getting inbound leads of people looking for SEO help. Now that we've rebranded to Mina Marketing, we've also SEO'd the Mina Marketing site, and we've been doing it all over again because of the rebrand. And so now that site is ranking. The SEO efforts generated an inbound lead, and then we sold them a $5,000 a month search engine marketing package. So awesome win for the team over there. That brings the grand total for this week to $7,591 for August 24th through the 30th. A grand total of $798,999 since the start of 2024. So $800,000 since the start of 2024 that you all have generated and collected as a result of taking action and doing these little consistent things. So awesome work, everyone. Great stuff. Now,
fantastic.
We're going to do some Cash App giveaways as well. So here's what I want you guys to do. I want you to go type in #action, because that was the theme for our show today. And I'm going to do, while you're doing that, I'm going to queue up my favorite part of Friday.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money.
Dollar. Ching, bling, bling, got the chatter. You ain't talking money, then you're talking no matter.
Yes, type in action. We'll do the drawing here.
Hey, Tom, just on 100K Club.
Yeah.
I stumbled across this first thing Thursday morning. Is Dawn, the talented guy that he is, and perceptive and everything else as well, and an action taker, one of the best action takers I know. He said, well, why don't we have an office hours Q&A session for those pinch points and stumbling blocks in 100K Club. And it was 9 a.m. my time. It's 10 a.m. Eastern time. I popped along. I think it was about 8 or 12 people turned up, and we ran through some pretty techie stuff that was like, pinch points for different folks and everything else in that. And I thought it was just such a great initiative, because when you're working through your week and you hit that roadblock of like, oh, I just really aren't getting what this is, it'd just be great to have a 5-minute chat about it with people that know. It's a great forum to keep you moving forward and to close that week out and stay on track and stuff. So credit to Dawn and the team at 100K Club for that initiative. It's something that if you've been sitting on the fence with it, look, if you really do, and I'm biased, I've always put my hand up and admit it. But if you want to take action and get results in an agency business, especially if you're looking to get it off the ground, you need to be in these environments. They will make you accountable. You will get things done, and you will have successes that you can then celebrate, and we can hold up the accolades and celebrate you as well. And that's what we're keen on. So if you've thought about it, you haven't bothered to, taken that step, this, I think 100K Club is one of the best programs I've seen. And there's a genuine camaraderie that comes out of it as well. And those kind of initiatives just making it even better.
Yeah, I think it's probably, I don't think there's any training out there on the level. I mean, and the fact that thing is only like $97 a month is crazy.
Yeah.
Like it should be a lot more than that. But yeah, it's $97 a month. We wanted to make it accessible to anybody who was serious. So, I
did some competitor research actually last weekend, Tom, and there's another agency group that's out there. They number about 25,000, and you sign up and you get a whole bunch of free resources. It was just a bunch of spreadsheets and documents that were links to this, that, and the other. Pardon my language, but it was crap, and it was just a complete time waste and a time soak. So, I speak from the heart and I tell you that the stuff that we use and the stuff that we have is because it works, not because it's got the idea that it might work one day, or you need to go and buy this, that, and the other to make it work. So, yeah, that's something that I observed last weekend. Was like, what a waste of time that is.
Awesome. All right. Well, let's give away some Cash App money. Everybody put it #action. By the way, if you have not signed up for the challenge, go to offlinesharks.com/stealth. Again, the challenge completely free. Show up every day, all next week, Monday through Friday. So we're going to go our first $25 Cash App winner is James Laskus. Congratulations, James. Here, let me take that out.
Yeah. I was going to say, I'm not sure what the first name is, Tom.
Yeah. James Laskus. Congratulations, James. I've talked to James personally quite a bit. A really great guy. Awesome stuff, James. Congratulations. You can put your Cash App in, or somebody from the team will reach out to you. All right, let's draw again. Cash App winner number 2 is the suspense. Paul Plum. Congratulations, Paul. Congratulations. So we will get those prizes to you. You can pop your Cash App or PayPal in the chat, or somebody from the team will reach out. So listen, another great live show. Richie, thanks so much for being here. Safe travels next week to New Zealand. Good luck.
No, Australia. Off to see the in-laws, and as I've said to you before, I've got a presentation meeting I'm doing in Sydney Monday week, pitching for the biggest customer that I've pitched to so far. It'll be a game changer one. It's very, very big. So I'm excited about it. And me and the team been doing a lot of work on getting the presentation ready and everything else. And we've done some pretty smart stuff. So it's to the worldwide boss of the company that I'm meeting with in Sydney Monday week. So looking forward to it.
Awesome. Good stuff. Good luck, man. I know you put in the work. Even if this one doesn't work out, you're going to get one eventually, because you're putting in the work. So that's great. That's great.
Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. So
awesome.
So good fun.
Well, look, everybody, stay safe out there. If you're watching college football, good luck to your team as well.
Oklahoma.
Boomer Sooner. That's what
Oklahoma.
we say. Yeah. Boomer Sooner, Richie. Boomer Sooner.
Boomer Sooner.
Enjoy your weekend. We'll see you at the challenge next week. Aloha, everybody. Stay safe.
Go the All Blacks. Yeah.
You've been watching the Aloha Marketing Jam session. We've helped thousands just like you start and scale their businesses. If you'd like our help to grow your business, go to the link on your screen now and let us know how we can help you. Don't forget to like, comment, and share this stream. We'll be back here next Friday for another live show. Until then, aloha.